a real good way of catching fish this time of year when the sun's out, it's warming up, is catching them down the edge. Carp love to come into the shallower water along with other fish like bream and tench, so a real good way of catching them is down the edge. And one of the things I like to do is fish ground bait down the edge, and it couldn't be any simpler really. This is the mainline margin mix, and it's got everything you possibly need to catch the fish and bring them into your swim in one bag. So there you go. So it's a really strong, potent mix, and as you can see, it's really dense and heavy. It's got lots of particles, nuts, pellets, fish meal, everything in there. And the idea is you feed the balls of ground bait nice and wet and damp, so they go in, you get a bit of a cloud, but you get a nice base of bait on the bottom, and that will attract the fish in. And there's so much food and content in there, it will keep them feeding in the swim, so you can keep catching them and keep building that area. So let me show you how you mix it. Nice and easy this one, you don't have to worry too much. I always over wet it. I'm just doing 1 kilo here. Normally for a session on the pole down the edge, I'd probably do 2 or 3 kilos of ground bait. As you can see, I'm not too careful with the amount of water I'm putting in here. Because there's so much bait in it, it will keep absorbing it. It's a really wet, tacky mix. This isn't quite ready yet, and I'll probably keep adding a little bit of water. But what you want is it over damp. You feel the weight in the ground bait. You know it's going to go to the bottom, break down, give a bit of scent, bit of cloud, loads of flavour and smell, and that the fish will just home in on. You can put a couple of balls in, let them settle in, come in, and they come and find your hook bait. It's a real easy way of catching fish this time of year. So there's the mix. I'm going to add a little bit more water and get the old drill in there. I recommend you do this probably half an hour before you start, and as you can see, it's already taking shape. Real dense ground bait. You're not going to get much coming off it. What you want to happen is you want the smell and the scent to be there, but you want it to get to the bottom in one unit, so the fish aren't putting the bait everywhere and feeding at all different levels. You want them to be concentrating and feeding on that. And when you present a nice maggot or a piece of corn over the top, there's only one thing they're going to eat.